Hello, today 51 out of 100. I think I think I'm pretty okay right now. I just up to the point of walking up to set up my camera here and start recording this. I kind of had some words pop into my mind along the lines of I'm a little bit in love with life right now. And that felt very optimistic. I don't know if that's actually how I feel. Actually, that's how I felt in that exact moment. But there is still a little bit of this tinge of anxiety around my job. But I think I had a pretty great day today. I I had a very giving day today. Not very, like a relatively giving day. Like in the grocery store today, I went to go get ingredients for some baking I was gonna do today, and while I was doing that, one of some older gentlemen, because I went to go get brown sugar and some cream of tartar, and while I was looking for the sugar, some dude next to me was like, "Hey, while you're checking down there, let me know if you find any powdered sugar." And just did like some small talk, and I found my brown sugar pretty quickly, and then he spent like another 2, 3, 4 minutes looking for his powdered sugar, like going back and forth on the aisle, checking other aisles. And once I found my sugar, I didn't just joke around and go. I actually stopped and looked for it, his powdered sugar for him, and I eventually found it, and he was just grateful. Like I just felt good for helping, and that was a good way to start the day. And then I went and did some like body assessment with a trainer at the gym that I go to today. There's a whole story behind that. It was very like it was a long time coming. And the whole reason I kind of even offered to do it was there were two main reasons. Like one, I wanted to just see where if there were any things with my body that I needed to improve on. And two, they were a pretty new trainer, and I just wanted them to have like something to do. Uh, but also, now that I'm saying that, it's just like, who am I to like approach that from that position? So I don't know. But that was another thing, and that got out of the way, and that felt good because now there's no like nothing I have to anticipate at the gym because this has been going on for months. Like this needed to be done for months, and like we had been talking about it for months, like very on and off. Now that it's finally done, like there's no awkwardness with like, oh, when are we gonna do this thing? So that's nice. And I baked for the first time, I think in this apartment for the first time ever, most likely. And it turned out pretty good. Other than the fact that, so I made snickerdoodle cookies, and what was stopping me from baking for a while was the fact that if I baked some stuff, I was not gonna eat all of that because that would just be an ungodly amount of carbs and fat, and even before I went on a diet, like that, it was just too much. And so I didn't want to bake because I didn't want to waste any bread. And a month or two ago, when I spoke with my brother about that, or maybe it was a few weeks ago, he was just like, why don't you bring it over here to like at this basically cafe that he hangs out at all the time? And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, that sounds pretty fine. And suddenly last night I remembered that conversation and I was like, I'm gonna bake something today. And so yeah, I made cookies. I wanted to make like really kind of like chewy, soft, dense snickerdoodle cookies. And they weren't as thick as I wanted them to be, but they were the texture and flavor was pretty good. I think it was pretty much exactly what I wanted. So that was really cool. And yeah, I put them in a box and I wrote a note basically excusing myself for the shape of them because they were pretty square because I grouped them too close on the pan. And I just spent like 30 something minutes going to Brooklyn to go give them to him and his fellow cafe goers and just hung out for like not that long. And then I just came straight back. And I also had a nice conversation with a new friend that I met there, one of his friends. And I've been noticing conversations have been really easy for me lately. Like, I almost have no amount of nervousness or anxiety approaching conversations. And like, I've been doing small talk pretty well. And that's been really cool. And I don't know where that comes from other than the fact that like I'm sure being sober helps. But even in the past when I was sober and I was having conversations, like I was still nervous all the time. And I'm definitely more confident than I was even just like a few weeks ago and even a few months ago, especially more than like I was like a year or two or three ago. But yeah, I this has been a very sudden thing I noticed where I'm just like flowing through conversations and it's really nice. And yeah, people enjoyed the cookies. So that was pretty cool. On the way there, I was sitting at every chance I could on the subway because I didn't want to risk at all me like dropping the box of cookies. But when I when I sat down on this pretty packed train, I was really glad I got a seat. There was this older woman carrying a bunch of groceries who like stood in front of me, and I just like I stood up for her and had her sit down because like I've carried groceries a lot just back and forth from the grocery store near my place to here, and that's only like a 5 7. That's probably like a 7 minute walk, and she gets tiring, and I just like instantly was like, okay, that must be pretty tough, and I just like got up for her, and she was like very sweet about it, and that was just like another moment of just like, yeah, this feels good. um, I cannot stop these ums. But yeah, I like it felt very good to just give a bunch today. And it felt good to bake for the first time here. Like I was so just like when the place started filling up with like the scent of like cinnamon and like freshly baked sugary cookies. I mean, like literally what it was, like just snickerdoodles. It was so good. Like I that stuff just like fills my soul up. So yeah, pretty good day. I am a little tiny teeny bit nervous about my meetings this coming week. But honestly, I may be more nervous about the fact that it's just gonna be 2 really long days because I'm literally just having meetings like from like 9 a.m. to maybe like 9 p.m. basically both days. And that's gonna be sandwiched by 2 7-hour flights. And I'm just assuming I'm gonna be pretty tired. And also, I'm not looking forward to not being able to work out because I was on a roll this week. My workouts were fucking tough and I did them. But also, now that I'm talking about that, I'm a little glad because they were a little too tough, and I don't know how. What's the word? Sustainable that's gonna be for 8 weeks, because that's what I'm trying to do this time as opposed to 6 week cycles. So yeah, that's going on. I wanted to share. I'm not share. I wanted to see if my writing is something worth sharing. I forgot what I wrote. I forgot what I wrote about today. But in case it's something worthwhile sharing. Eh, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I think that's it. I I feel pretty good. I feel pretty great. And even though like I have this sensation of like wanting to ground myself for some reason and not feel this good, because maybe I feel like I don't deserve to feel this good. But instead of focusing on that, I'm just gonna feel out these good feelings, and if if tomorrow I don't feel this way, then whatever. But at least today I feel this way, and that's pretty cool. So I think that's it. So thank you for watching. Day 51 at 100. Just past 50% of this now. And I will be back again tomorrow.